The country would rather not have to pay $100,000, but they'd rather, how do you do that? You hire Americans.
For decades, young Indians were told that success meant heading west, that wealth, recognition and a global career could only be earned by leaving home for the United States of America. Silicon Valley became the promised land, Wall Street the pinnacle of ambition, and H1-B visa the golden ticket. Families built dreams around it, students shaped their education for it, and the brightest minds of India set their sights on crossing oceans. But now, that dream faces a harsh reality. President Donald Trump has imposed a staggering $100,000 fee on new H1-B visas, a barrier so steep it threatens to shut the door for millions of talented professionals from India. Perhaps it's time to ask a different question. Is this truly the end of the American dream for India's tech workforce? Or is it a wake-up call for India to create opportunities at home through modern infrastructure, merit-based policies, and a future where our brightest minds can thrive right here? Hello and welcome. You're watching Statecraft with me, Geeta Mohan. They say the American dream is universal. For decades, it was the beacon for millions of young Indians, a promise of opportunity, prosperity and global recognition. Elon Musk, Sundar Pichai, Satya Nadella, Indra Nooyi, all of them lived that dream, starting with an H1-B visa. But today, that dream is under siege. President Donald Trump has announced a $100,000 fee for new H1-B visas. One fee, one giant hurdle, and for Indian IT professionals, it might just be the end of an era. The H1-B visa has long been the lifeline for skilled Indian professionals. Nearly 72% of all H1-B visas go to Indians. In 2024, 283,000 Indians obtained this visa, out of a total of 390,000. It is the bridge that has carried India's brightest minds to Silicon Valley, to Wall Street, to global tech giants like Microsoft, Google, Amazon, Meta, TCS, and Infosys. Now, Prime Minister Narendra Modi has been blunt on one front. India must reduce its dependence on foreign products. From defense equipment to semiconductors, from ships to chips, Atmanirbhar Bharat, or self-reliance, is the new national mantra. But there is one dependency India has rarely confronted: our dependence on exporting services, on sending our talent abroad.
जाने अनजाने हमारी रोजमर्रा की जिंदगी में बहुत सी विदेशी चीजें जुड़ गई है, हमें पता तक नहीं है। हमारे जेब में कंघी विदेशी है कि देसी, हमें पता ही नहीं है। हमें इनसे भी मुक्ति पानी होगी। हम वो सामान खरीदें जो मेड इन इंडिया हो, बेस्ट हो, उत्तम से उत्तम हो। हम जो मैन्युफैक्चर करें वो दुनिया में आन बान शान के साथ देश के सारे पैरामीटर को पार करने वाला हो। हमारे प्रोडक्ट्स की क्वालिटी दुनिया में भारत की पहचान बढ़ाए, भारत का गौरव बढ़ाए। हमें इस लक्ष्य को लेकर काम करना है।
For years, Indian IT companies have thrived on outsourcing. Millions of young professionals dreamt not of innovating in Bengaluru or Hyderabad, but of writing code for a bank in New York or London. And the government, across party lines, let this brain drain slide, sometimes even celebrating it as proof of India's global clout. But today, the cost of that complacency is staring us in the face. The rationale is simple, at least politically. Trump frames it as protecting American jobs. He claims the H1-B program has been exploited to replace domestic workers with cheaper foreign talent. The share of IT workers on H1-B visas has grown from 32% in 2003 to over 65% in recent years. MAGA supporters see this as stopping Indians from stealing American jobs. And for those who think outsourcing could be the workaround, Trump has already shut that door too. The Halting International Relocation of Employment Act, the so-called HIRE Act, is designed to punish American firms that send jobs abroad. A 25% tax on outsourcing. Now, it's not as if no Indian government saw the problem. In the 1990s, liberalization created a massive IT services boom, but it also meant exporting skills instead of nurturing industries. Congress government pushed for more higher education, IITs and IIMs multiplied, but little was done to stop the exodus of talent. Now, Modi government talks of Digital India and Startup India, ambitious slogans, but without enough infrastructure to keep techies at home, the brain drain continues. Everyone has diagnosed the disease, but no one has truly treated it. And for the Indian workers themselves, the choice is tough. Pay the $100,000 upfront, an impossible sum for most, or look for alternatives. Few with extraordinary achievements might pivot to O1 visas or EB1A visas, reserved for individuals with national or international acclaim. But for majority of skilled workers, these routes are out of reach. The so-called gold card, the super elite, is a fantasy for most.
Fundamental question you have to ask is are the Indian techies, when they move to the US, are they replacing the jobs in the US? There is a yes or no answer to that question, because when you look at the Indian startups which come into the US, for every individual who started in the company, they're creating 8 jobs. For every Indian techie who comes in on the high end, creates another job for the American itself. So yes, on the low end, there are challenges, but overall on the high end, what we see is the startups are creating jobs, and almost 75% of the startups in the US has some kind of an Indian component tied to it. So we have to get into more details, but overall, I think the current situation pleases the MAGA right, and that's the direction the president wants to go.
So how do we change course? The answer isn't easy, but it begins with creating conditions where India itself becomes the first choice, not the fallback. Our techies don't leave because they lack patriotism. They leave because the opportunities, the infrastructure, the salaries, and the prestige are greater abroad. If India wants to keep them, we must match that environment, or at least come close. That means building world-class research labs and innovation hubs, not just on paper, but in practice. It means fast-tracking infrastructure for startups, cutting the red tape that suffocates entrepreneurs, and providing tax incentives that make staying back a financially sound decision. It means where techies are not moonlighting as cab drivers. It means ensuring meritocracy, that recognition comes not from foreign validation, but from genuine talent at home. And above all, it means creating a culture where success in Bengaluru or Pune is celebrated just as much as success in San Francisco. And let's not pretend India is alone in facing this dilemma. Countries around the world are competing for the same pool of talent. While Trump raises barriers, Germany has simplified its skilled migration rules. Singapore positions itself as Asia's innovation hub, welcoming tech workers with open arms. Even Europe, once sluggish, is now striking mobility agreements that allow professionals to move across borders with far less friction than in the past.
We want to create more opportunities for Indian skilled labor and students who aim to come to Germany. We have almost 60,000 Indian students in Germany, which makes them already today the largest group of international students in Germany. Many of them choose to stay. because we urgently need highly skilled and highly qualified labour. With our strategy on highly skilled labour in India, we already support the area of getting these talents to come to Germany. It's already now a genuine success story. Indian skilled workers in Germany are successful in their jobs, earn more than above average income, and show above average integration. They are an asset for the German labour market.
China has also announced a new K visa aimed at young STEM professionals worldwide. Unlike the H1-B, applicants need not have a domestic employer to sponsor them. Multiple entries, longer validity, and flexible opportunities await those willing to relocate. South Asian talent, particularly Indians, is the target. But let's be honest, who would want to study in China?
दुनिया समझती है भारत की ताकत क्या है. ऐसे ही नहीं है कि पूरे विश्व के अलग अलग देश भारत के साथ फ्री ट्रेड एग्रीमेंट भी करना चाहते हैं, भारत से व्यापार बढ़ाना चाहते हैं, संबंध सुधारना चाहते हैं. थोड़ा बहुत हमारे टैलेंट से डरते भी हैं, उससे भी हमें आपत्ति नहीं है. हमारा टैलेंट भारत आके यहां इनोवेट करे, यहां डिजाइन करे और हमारी अर्थव्यवस्था तेजी से आगे बढ़ेगी. सो वी आर विनर्स कम व्हाट में.
Some Indians might still look for alternatives to fulfill their American dream, but there are few. The O1 visa, which is valid for 3 years, can be extended and boasts a 93% approval rate. The EB-1A, nicknamed the Einstein visa, is for Nobel laureates, Pulitzer winners, Olympians, a tiny slice of the workforce. For the millions of Indian engineers and IT professionals, the American dream is no longer accessible. A few ultra-wealthy individuals may still access the US through the Trump Gold Card, an investor visa requiring a minimum $1 million commitment to projects within the country, ultimately leading to residency and then citizenship. But for the majority of Indian IT professionals earning around $65,000 a year, this is utterly unattainable. The door remains open only for the rich. For most, it has slammed shut. The tragedy is this: for too long, India has exported its best and imported its worst. We send away our engineers, then import foreign products built with their genius. We subsidize education here, then watch other nations cash in. It's not just brain drain, it's economic self-sabotage. So where do we go from here? First, by ending the obsession of the United States. For decades, school essays and career counseling sessions whisper the same message: success meant settling abroad. That mindset must change. Success must mean building in India, innovating in India, creating wealth in India. Second, by treating brain drain as a national crisis. We can't afford to keep losing our best to foreign shores. And third, by pushing government and industry together to make India not just a service provider to the world, but a creator, a hub, a leader. Consider the benefits. Young professionals can work without leaving families behind. They can contribute to national development while building global standard careers. Merit, not geography, becomes the passport. Infrastructure, not emigration, becomes the accelerator. Ease of business, not bureaucracy, abroad, becomes the driver. India's youth can build India if the system empowers them. And it's not just about opportunity, it's about sovereignty over talent. Every engineer, developer, or innovator who leaves is a potential builder of India lost to a foreign land. Trump's fee may have closed a US door, but it opens a chance for India to reclaim its brightest minds, to cultivate innovation at home, and to make Atmanirbhar Bharat, or self-reliance, a reality. India does have the ingredients. It has a massive youth population, thriving startup ecosystems, and a government finally talking about self-reliance. What it needs is execution. Modern campuses, smoother regulations, investment in R&D, and mobility agreements that allow Indian talent to collaborate globally while staying rooted at home. If Germany and Singapore can do it, so can India. Trump's H1-B fee may feel like an insult, but perhaps it's the jolt India needed. For the first time in decades, the path forward is clear. Stop chasing a fading dream abroad. Start building a real one at home. Because the American dream was never meant for all, and today it's reserved for the wealthy, the extraordinary, or the politically convenient. India's dream, however, can be universal. It can be merit-based, homegrown, and inclusive, but only if India stops exporting ambition and starts investing in it.
To say one thing is, it is not an anti-India decision being taken. I think these are more of a pro-America decision being taken. What really happens is because you have a large number of Indian Americans in the US, you have a large number of Indian students in the US, you have large number of H1-B in the US. When you're making those decisions on a global basis, it does impact. When you're close to a nation, you get impacted the most itself. When you look at the trade between the two countries, it's $200 billion. And the objective is to take it to $500 billion. India buys Russian oil. And because of the Ukraine conflict, and the thinking is if you can put pressure on Russia by basically choking its income through oil being sold, India becomes a victim of that. So I don't think this is a anti-India stance by anyone. In fact, the president reached out to the prime minister on September 17th and wished him a very happy 75th birthday, and basically told him, my friend, Prime Minister Modi. So I think from that perspective, I don't think there's an anti-India sentiment. It's more about trying to see what's best for America. In that process, India does become a victim.
For Indian IT professionals, the question is no longer about chasing a foreign dream. It's about building a dream at home. The choice is stark. Continue idolizing the US, where opportunity is increasingly gated by wealth, status, and elite visas, or embrace India, where infrastructure, meritocracy, and policy can foster growth and recognition without leaving the homeland, provided the government ensures that the infrastructure also commensurates with the salaries. That if the salaries are there for the people who are coming back, the infrastructure is also provided, that the cities are there for them to live in, that the cities do not crumble with one rainfall. All that has to be provided by the government to ensure that people come back. The stakes are real. The US may still offer opportunity to a select few, but for millions of skilled Indians, the new reality is financial, bureaucratic, and psychological. Paying $100,000 upfront, navigating complex alternatives, or relying on elite extraordinary ability visas is out of reach.
In fact, in the last 60 days, I've spoken to almost 70 plus CEOs all across the Valley and across America. Yes, they are concerned because nobody likes an environment which is uncertain. They want transparency, stability, so they can make their investment decisions. So from that perspective, yes, you hear people are concerned. You're concerned about your children's continuing education. You're concerned about buying a new house because you don't know what's going to happen. You're concerned about your career itself. And when you put a tax of $100,000 per visa per individual itself, it does impact the budgets of companies itself. So I think companies will look at very carefully as to when they plan the hiring, as to what position they're going to hire and what position they're going to basically offshore it. But that's normal in any environment when you're trying to plan a business, when you're trying to build a family, that you have to deal with uncertain environment. Today, the turbulence is much, much higher, but I think there's enough resilience both on the corporate side and also individual side that they will weather the storm calmly.
Trump's $100,000 H1-B fee may have closed a door abroad, but it has opened one at home. For millions of young Indian professionals, this is a moment of reckoning. The American dream is no longer guaranteed. The Indian dream could be, should the Indian government decide that the youth that is a major potential for India to grow is nurtured. They'll be innovators, leaders, and architects of a nation poised to claim its place on the world stage. The opportunity is here, now. The choice is theirs, and the future, India's future, depends on whether its brightest minds stop chasing a fading dream abroad and start building one at home. But then again, it is for the government to ensure that there is a dream for them to come home to. Trump's $100,000 H1-B fee may have slammed the door to the US, but it also delivers a lesson India can no longer ignore. The American dream is no longer a promise for all. It has become a privilege reserved for the wealthy and extraordinary few. For millions of Indian tech professionals, success doesn't have to mean going abroad. The government must step up, investing in modern infrastructure, thriving tech hubs, and opportunities that harness the ambition of India's youth. Policies that reward merit, foster research and innovation, support startups, and simplify business regulations can keep the brightest minds at home rather than sending them overseas. The question is no longer whether Indians can succeed abroad. It's whether India can build a future that inspires them to stay, innovate, and lead. It's time to end the US obsession and start building that future here in Bengaluru, Hyderabad, Pune, and beyond. Thank you for watching Statecraft.